Good evening, everybody. I'd like to call this Town of Dover Town Board Special Meeting to order, Wednesday, May 15th. The time is 5:32 p.m. I'd like to ask everybody to please rise for the pledge to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Following the agenda at this time, are there any public comments or questions on agenda items only? If you have any questions or comments, please approach the podium.
Good evening, Supervisor Eno, board members. Michael Pelletier, Wingdale resident. A couple more items related to community center in Wingdale. Been asked by several people to speak with regards to the project again. Most of them, as they can't make it to the meetings, I have the flexibility to be here. So one is we're trying to figure out what the trending school enrollment is right now. My understanding is we're starting to trend lower as far as student enrollment. So just a concern we have for having the property. The board also mentioned having families with athletic students. Problem is that we're running out of residential properties. Our list is very small as far as homes that are available. So I think this is something we need to take into consideration as well. Another question we had was everybody asked that is doing projects, why are there no signs stating that there are public hearings with regards to a project? Every other project that's brought up to the town, we must post a sign. Is there a reason we don't have to have them?
They're not public hearings, they're public meetings, they're special meetings.
Or special
Our
meeting,
meetings are posted online.
yeah, only online.
The schedules are on our website.
Okay, so any project though that's done,
If there was a public hearing, then the sign would be posted.
okay, so it's just public comment, not public
It's just a
hearing.
public comment, this is a special meeting is all it is.
Correct.
Off the regular night at the end of the month.
Okay.
That's all this is.
Okay, so also let's look at the brochure that has been presented as far as the community center. It stated that this is what the townspeople want. The letter states that 421 people stated that this is what they want. How many residents are registered to vote in this town? What percentage is 421 people? A very small fraction. So the votes came back 70% for community center, 67 for a sports facility. Each of these showed that they were over 200 votes. Well, we're already over our 400, and we're already over 100%. So it goes on that number 3 was 49% for veteran services, 41% home health services, 40% senior housing, 30% social services. So my understanding is that these must have all been listed at the same time and check as many boxes as you want. So this is kind of misleading for 400 people to say this is what we want to spend our money on. So just another point. Also, as we know, next week our school budget is going to be voting. So we're looking, from what I understand, at least 4% increase in taxes. So we're adding quite a bit if we add this tax as well. And then I don't know where the county went this year with taxes. What's our increase going to be? Well, it's not just what we're doing here today. Also, with regards to the pond, as I mentioned last time, I see the fill is being brought in. Is this clean fill? I don't see, we don't have our engineer tonight, but is this free and clear of any invasive species for plant life? Is it compactable fill? It doesn't appear to be. It looks like topsoil. Not very good to compact for a parking lot. This probably has to be done in 18 to 24-inch lifts for compaction if we expect it to last. So that's another of the items that we need to look at. Also, you're mentioning tonight, I know it's part of the agenda, that we're going to do a vote on solicitation for bids, which I think it's a good idea to get an accurate number on the project. The only problem is that if you're going to ask a bunch of contractors to put pricing out, they're going to spend quite a bit of time, and if this is what we're working with to get pricing off of, you won't even be close. So a lot of people are going to waste their time putting pricing out there. There's no detail. There's no scope of work plan, unless you have something new that I haven't seen. So as of last month's mention, The current rec department offices will be returned as a community center. So this would mean public bathrooms, a snack shack, and a community area. That being said, have we figured the cost of renovating that building again to take the offices out, make it a community center, reopen the kitchen? I don't know if this is figured into our pricing, but it needs to be. So just another point. And then the last is just a couple of bullet points from last month. Our fixed cost at $9.5 million, $500,000 a year mortgage, cost of staffing, days, nights, and weekends, custodial services. Rough number, just throwing out $100,000 a year to staff this. Heating cost, cooling cost, electrical, snow removal, building maintenance, generator fuel costs, security guards for the park, and last, potable water for the buildings. Just don't know where we stand. And that's it. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
May I clarify the school tax increase? The budget increase on the school budget is 4%, but the tax levy is only going up 1.85%. They're using contingency funds.
1.85,
1.85.
so they're under the cap.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Next on the agenda, any other people? Any other residents make comments? Next on the agenda, continued discussion on the special election referendum on the proposed new recreation community center at Boyce Park. Let me put this up. At this time, I'll turn it over
Sure.
to Town Clerk and Julie.
Sure. If you would go up to slideshow in the banner or the headings at the top, click on that, and then from beginning, that would be great.
There you go.
All right, thank you. And thank you all for being here tonight. So this is our third public meeting, not a public hearing, but a public meeting to discuss the proposed new community recreation center at Boyce Park. Next slide. Before I go into that, previous meeting information is available on our website. So if you go to www.doverny.us, in the middle of the page, there are what they call radio buttons, more or less circular buttons across the front. And all the information from previous meetings is available through one of the buttons that's called 2024 Referendum on the Boyce Park Recreation Center. So please feel free to visit that at any time. It includes videos of the meetings, PowerPoint presentations, and any other materials that were circulated. So on tonight's agenda, this is how we're going to proceed through continued discussion. First, Julie Muncy, our recreation specialist, will talk a little bit in responding to feedback to date that we received at the last meeting, so we'll address some of those concerns. Perhaps they'll raise more ideas to discuss, but certainly it will begin the discussion on addressing concerns that any resident may have. We're very honored tonight to have the Town of Pauling Recreation Director, Robin Woolley, who's going to talk a little bit about their services in the town of Pauling. We'll also have Nancy Lamanna, a participant in the town's senior recreation program, to share a few words with us. I'll continue going down our top 15 reasons for the Community Recreation Center, and then we'll open it up to the town board and for public comments, and conclude with next steps before we go on to the consent agenda. All right. So at this time, I'll call Julie Muncy up, and we do have slides that accompany her statement. So could we go to the next slide?
Hi, I'm Julie Muncy from Dover Recreation, I'm Recreation Director. So I'm here today to just answer some of the concerns from last meeting that we had, that you brought up. A little backstory. So I thought it was 12 years, it was actually like 15 years ago. Our recreation office used to be in the Astor building. We were in a little room, about 12 by 8. There was 3 desks, so there was 3 of us, as well as all our recreation supplies, office supplies, copiers, whatever it was. but it was so small at the time that anybody who remembers coming to there couldn't really go in the office. We kind of had a line down the hall for any registrations. At that time, everything was manual, it wasn't really computerized, so it was a very small area. So what happened was the Astor School decided that they need to have their counseling center in the Astor building, their Astor Counseling Center. So we were basically made to move. And at the time, the community center at Boys Park was being used for, we could rent it out, and that attached to the pavilion. So we decided that it was more, it was better for us to kind of give that part up so we could put our offices in. So at the time, we had our offices built. Actually, building that office was a big donation, so there really wasn't a lot of taxpayer money to put our offices in there, and basically it was just walls. So we really didn't do anything other than put up walls in that community room, and switch. So anyway, so we've been in there for almost 15 years. So that was one of the reasons why we moved into that community room. Also, we were a lot of our stuff was in the gym at the Astor building, which we now had to move out as well, because they were putting other facilities in the gym area. So we moved out, we had to get out of the gym as well. So that was one of the reasons why the concession stand in the red building at Boys Park was then used for our storage, because we didn't use that concession stand anymore, because we had the community room concession stand, which soccer and baseball used there after the red building. So the red building concession stand really wasn't being used anymore. And we had the updated concession stand in the community room. So they used that. And then the reason why we don't have a concession stand anymore is because soccer and baseball just could not find the community people to help. I know at one time you would put in a $50 deposit, but if you didn't want to, and Jay, you would know more about this, but they didn't care about the $50. They didn't want to volunteer, so they let Little League have the $50. So they were slowly depleting their people who would run the community service, adult people to run the community service, not kids. So that was one of the reasons why we went into there. The red building was part of that storage. For the concession stand red building, where the bathrooms are, quite a few years ago, another town board, we had a lot of vandalism, an extreme amount of vandalism in those boys and the girls' room by the playground at that red building. So at that time, that town board decided that it was better that they close those bathrooms. So once those bathrooms were closed, we built bathrooms in our garage in the back, and then we started using porta potties. But we also used our bathrooms in the office that we are in now, but they at the time got vandalized too, so then we closed it, and then after COVID, we closed them all together. But now we have cameras. So we have cameras at the garage, on the Little Red House, and our community room. So since we've had those cameras, we've had no vandalism. So I have opened up, majority of the time, our office bathrooms are open. I have 3 porta potties, as well as the garage bathrooms. So we use those as well for soccer and baseball, excuse me. So that was there. So when we decided we had to upgrade our water, so we got a UV system. So one of the old bathrooms, the boy bathroom I think it was, is now our water system room. The second bathroom, which we just got a grant for, we've been trying to get this grant to open up this bathroom for a while. So we finally got the grant, and they'll be working on that this spring, summer, to put in a family bathroom. So anybody would be able to use it. So that would be open, and that's the bathroom closest to the playground. We would still have our office bathrooms open as long as they stay good and there's no vandal, as well as the one in the garage, as well as we would probably have the porta potties as well. Because on Saturdays, Sundays, it gets very busy down there, so we have to accommodate. So that's the backstory as to why we are in the offices and why we use the buildings that we have down there to utilize them. So one of the concerns last year was, last month, was the potable water. We are now approved by Dutchess County, so it is official drinking water. The permit is in our window at our offices at Boyce Park. We have a UV system, so it is now drinkable water. So it would be the same drinkable water that once we build this office, we would be doing a new well and a new septic as well. So also, people need to know too that we are quarterly, Board of Health comes to us quarterly, and during the summer months, May through October, almost November, our Board of Health lady is there every single month. So she takes our water every single month. There's an issue, we know about it. And the engineer, as well as Dutchess County engineer, also know about that. So that being said, our water is good for down at Boyce Park.
All right.
So then the other one of the concerns was the adequate septic system.
Next slide,
I'm sorry.
please.
Did I go too far?
Perfect timing.
Okay. So the town will be able to install adequate septic system. It's part of the SEQRA review with the soil mapping, and the majority of the land for the new center is already disturbed current parking lot, and it's composed of Copake gravel, which is well-drained coarse gravel, and the project does not eliminate prime farmland. So that's on that for the septic. The next one is the neighboring wetlands.
Next slide, thank you.
So the other one is the town conducted a wetland delineation, report, and the proposed building will meet the required setback from the wetland that is located at the far end of the park parcel. The project EAF was circulated to the New York State DEC, and they did not respond with any comments to the town's request for lead agency status. A habitat study was also conducted and revealed that there is no trees there to be cut, no impact on the Indiana bats. And the wetland is not of the type of bog turtle tends to inhabit, too mucky, too soft, and it is located near an already undisclosed identified bog turtle habitat. The environmental analysts who inspected the site did not find any new habitats or environmental concerns at that site. And then the last one, the other concern from last month's meeting is about Boyce Park, the pond, the maintenance project. It is on deck to be completed in spring, summer with issued DEC permit to excavate accumulated sediment to help restore the pond depth and fill approximately 0.10 acres of the pond area that will allow the expansion and the improved of the parking area to the other side of Boyce Park. For the fill, the dirt that is there that has been coming in, that is to what we are planning on doing in the next few weeks is the area between the pond and Route 55, that grass will be peeled up, and the first layer of that pond sediment is to go there, as well as some of the dirt that has been delivered there from another job to be there. And then the grass will be brought back, reseeded, so that it's level and so it won't flood anymore. So that was the biggest concern, is we were constantly getting flooded. The pipe has been fixed, but that was one of the reasons why the dirt is coming in, and that's what we're doing with that first part. So the other concerns was the Recreation Department is in charge of the parks and grounds. They always have been, and they always will. Its facilities, it'll include the new Recreation Community Center, snow removal. We're in charge of the staffing when the building is opening, the maintenance, and the cleaning of the building, just like we do now. Any work that must be done, obviously, if we can't fix it, we go to outside vendors. So to fix the problem of any of our facilities, whether it's here, JHK, or Boys Park. Also, people have to remember, too, with a building like this, it's called public works. If you do anything on property, you have to do public works, which means you have to charge prevailing wage. Prevailing wage is a law, it's a county state law, and they tell the vendors what they have to charge. So normally, prevailing wage is always 2 to 3 times more money that you would go out for something to be installed than having it at your home. So people have to remember that when they see the price, that is one of the things that we have to do. So local vendors, are more than welcome to bid on these projects. They just have to go by the local law. Also, we want people to ask questions. We want everybody to be informed. This is a huge, huge project, and we want everyone to know everything about it. I have been getting positive feedback from residents and families in the community, and people just need to know this is a new era for our community life. And we're just trying, to do our best to keep people informed. And if people have questions, they can always call me at the rec department as well as town board. Any other questions? I think I got everything.
Thank you, Julie.
All right.
Thank you, Julie. And we will have a meeting next month as well, and we'll continue to address concerns that arise. But in between meetings, of course, any resident is welcome to give a call to the town hall or speak to one of the elected officials or appointed officials. So we hope that fills in some of the information just that we wanted to address specifically to keep people informed. All right, so I think now we're going to move on to having a speaker, Robin Woolley, the Town of Pauling Recreation Director, and she has something to share with us.
Hello, everybody, Town Board. Good evening. My name is Robin Priano. I'm the Recreation Director for the Town of Pauling. Thank you for the opportunity to share a brief message with you about the importance of having an indoor facility and a community rec center in your town. Our main indoor facility is the Lathrop Building at Lakeside Park. This building houses our recreation offices, which there are 4, our Buildings and Grounds office for our Buildings and Grounds supervisor, as well as his secretary. We have 2 meeting rooms, a large multi-purpose room, which is our auditorium, and it has a stage as well, a full operating kitchen, which is permitted by the Department of Health for anyone having a party for cooking and anything like that, as well as storage rooms for our recreation equipment. Having a building for indoor space has been imperative to our programming, our day-to-day functioning, and providing rental opportunities. Just this week alone, in our main building, we've had the Dutchess County Youth Initiative Program graduation, Journey of Hope meeting, pickleball, Zumba, an American Red Cross blood drive, our senior lunch of the month, toddler playgroup, line dancing, a matinee movie, Pauling Rotary Club meeting, Pauling Community Liaison meeting, and a gather around the table meeting. All of these just from this week alone, so there's constant use in and out of this building. These are a combination of recreation programs, community organizations, and rentals that bring in revenue. Our main building recently had an emergency generator installed so that we can be fully functioning and used as an emergency shelter during extended power failures. Our multi-purpose room has also been used for large community meetings as well as polling locations. In addition, we have another facility at Lakeside Park. We call it our Teen Center building, but it's used for our before and after school programming, where we work with the schools. We offer a before school rec club and after school rec club. The bus comes to our park, picks the kids up, just because it is a safe space for these kids before and after school. In that building, we also host our senior exercise program Mondays and Fridays, as well as private rentals for parties. There's a kitchen in that building as well. Having a community center has been wildly beneficial when running our summer camp program. It adds to a variety to our daily scheduling, providing temporary relief from extreme heat in air-conditioned spaces, and provides shelter during unpredictable and wild summer weather. Multiple times, especially during pickup in the afternoon when those rainstorms hit, we can quickly move our camp pickup right inside and switch gears and have that so that the kids and the parents aren't outside in the rain. Like your recreation director, I'm a member of the Hudson Valley Leisure Services Association. It's a group of recreation, like-minded people, parks, municipal. We get together and we hold monthly meetings to discuss different things that we're all working with within our departments. We toured different facilities, and having an indoor space to host programs, events, and activities is the topic of conversations many of us have had and are also often envious of within each town. Having a space and the freedom to build programs without relying on other organizations' schedules or paying rental fees at other facilities is a game changer in our field. For example, a basketball program at a school, you're paying rental fees, you're paying custodial fees at those facilities, and then you're at the mercy of their schedules as well for when they need to do maintenance to their gym, or they have a concert or a band thing that needs that space. We get bumped without any question. Again, that's an agreement that we make with them, but having that, being that provider of that space and in control of that space, you don't have those scheduling conflicts. As mentioned before, having an indoor space also allows for potential revenue from facility rentals. Since 2022, so post-COVID, kind of when we're back and recouping everything, the town of Pauling has taken in approximately $52,000 just from indoor rentals alone. So that's just our indoor space. That's not our pavilions or anything. That's just within our indoor facilities. As a neighboring town and recreation enthusiast, I love that you are all looking to improve your park facilities and exploring how to bring this vision to life. An indoor facility will be a huge asset to your recreation department, the community, and beyond. And I also want to know, as soon as you have that basketball court ready, because I'm going to fill out a rental form for our program to use it as well. I applaud all of you at the Town of Dover for your plan to construct a new community recreation center. It is clear by the research and the amount of information you're gathering that you all want the best for your residents. This project is an investment in Dover's future and will prove to be beneficial for the residents of all ages. And like I said before, just this week alone in programming, we've had toddlers from 6 months straight up to our senior lunch today with aging about 100 years old. So like I said, all ages can use indoor facilities. Thank you.
Thank you. I have a question, though.
Oh, yes. Sorry.
Because I talked with Supervisor Schmidt. What is the number that was put into that park? The buildings were already established and already built, but what is the number of rehab of the buildings, remodeling of any of the buildings inside? Is there any kind of cost that you guys incurred on that?
A lot of the work was done within, like from our maintenance department, so a lot of it was in-house, so I couldn't give you right now off the top of my head what that number was. I can definitely get it for you guys and provide that information to either Katie or Julie to announce at the next meeting. But most of the work, especially like in our main building, Wendell Weber, our buildings ground supervisors and his crew, like they did all the painting. We just did reflooring. They're actually installing air conditioning units in our auditorium right now. So they're doing a lot of the work in-house because they can and work around their schedules.
I asked because I attended there's a special project that could be coming to our two towns. And 2 or 3 people, residents of Pauling, mentioned, why would we need this if we've already put, and they said an amount of money, and I don't remember it, into our Lakeside Park. So I'm just curious to see that number because buildings were already done.
Yep.
Where we would be starting from scratch. So if you could get me that information, I'm very curious on that number.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you very much.
No problem. Anyone else?
Anyone else have a question?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Robin, for your time and for coming up to Dover to share your information. So, all right. Can I ask Nancy to come to the podium and share a bit? And I welcome your fellow members from the Senior Recreation Program. I see familiar faces out there.
Ask me later.
Good evening. My name is Nancy Lamanna. Rec Center provides a place for all ages. I'll be addressing you tonight on behalf of the seniors as a member. Our senior program has blossomed since I've been there. It's become a resource for a better quality of life for so many seniors. Our rec center, a rec center at Boyce Park, would give seniors more opportunity for both indoor and outdoor opportunities. We as seniors right now meet at the Legion Hall, and when we do certain outdoor activities, we have to go over to the rec park. So it would centralize all those type of things. We do things like play pickleball. We walk the basketball court. We play basketball a little bit, kind of a modified thing. It'll allow us, a center would also allow us for a lot less moving around and setting up of things. if we had our own space. Right now, we're using the American Legion, which has been very good. And the thing is we have to, if we're sometimes like tomorrow, for example, we have to go up to JFK Park because they need to use that space. So if we had our own space, we probably wouldn't be, using other space, have to give up that space and be jumping all over the place. A multi-purpose room with we'd like a nice kitchen in there, so maybe, if it's going to serve the whole area, because we realize that it'd be shared by other people. But if we had a space in there with a nice kitchen and maybe like the type of coffee makers, like the bun makers, where everybody could use that, makes it usable. And so if we had a kitchen, it could also serve as a space for not only us, but for maybe cooking classes for the teenagers or even adults, teen meeting space, baby showers and wedding showers, which would be revenue for the town. Let's see, and a concession space for the sports. So as I mentioned, we have scheduling conflicts sometimes, and we have to relocate. And as of right now, for tomorrow, like we do coffee and refreshments and things like that. And Ven and Candy have to haul all the coffee makers and everything else, take all this physical stuff with them. So it'd be nice to have a space where we could just keep it all in one place and not have to do that. Also, I see on the plan there's a third space, and seniors could come there on days other than when seniors meet, and maybe have coffee, play games, and if Julie had things or they had them right there where games that are already there, we could play games and stuff like we usually do. And we could also use the pavilion if we're right there in that space down where this building would be. We would have the pavilion for picnics and lunches and exercise and maybe our line dancing. We do line dancing. We do exercise involved with Terry's class. Venna has a class that's exercise. This has improved so many people's lives to have this there. It's about a quality of life for seniors. And it's so important for our community because people tend to stay home, but if they know they have this place, and our particular senior program is a wonderful program. It's very encompassing. We just embrace everybody that comes in. It's such a wonderful group of people that get along, and we, like I said, we exercise with Venna. We do exercise on a yoga ball. Yes, we do. And we line dance. So when people think of seniors, they tend to think of old people. We're not old people. It's a state of mind. Mm-hmm. Every single one of us are younger than our number. And this program has helped us do that because it's just the way you think. And by getting together like this and showing us that we can do things like line dance and exercise on balls. And when I say exercise, I mean, we're doing pretty good exercises. I know people younger than us that do not exercise as well we do. And we have people from 55 up to 93 line dancing and exercising. So if we had our own space with facilities that we would, like I said, it's been nice at the Legion Hall, and we're very glad to have a space, but if we had our own space where we could put our own things and we have storage for our things, I don't know that this would happen, but for example, if we had a place, we carry our yoga balls back and forth with us every day. I mean, every time we use them, but if we had a space to maybe keep that, but we need to keep supplies, we do crafts. We do all kinds of things. We have games, we do tic-tac golf, we do cornhole, we do lots of crafts. We're very open to, having, like if we have a program, we have something there at the program, a game or whatever, if anybody else wants to say, well, gee, I'd like to try this, or I'd like to try that, we're open to any of those kind of things. It's such a wonderful program, and Candy and Venna work very hard. We all pitch in together and help out, and it's just such a welcoming environment. And it's just gotten better all the time. So if people know what our program is like, and we have a space that's inviting, you know, and let's face it, our demographics is getting up there in the senior age. There's a couple members here that I know personally that qualify as seniors.
She means us.
And as I've mentioned, I do 55 and above. Okay.
I'm good then.
Okay.
54.
Well, we'll make sure that next year we address you as senior. Okay. But anyway, the demographic is getting larger with seniors, and if in addition to, I understand that this facility is for all ages, which it should be, and it encompasses all ages where we can all do things together maybe. But the thing is with that demographic growing and everything, if we have something that's inviting and a really good center, that's part of what makes our town better. And it's part of, like, if people want to come here and looking to move here and stuff like that, that's one of the things they'll look at, not only for the young people, but for us as fabulous ladies and a few good men. And we'd like to increase that men membership. But anyway, it's growing, and it's growing already, and we'd like to grow it even further. So if they would take those things into consideration, I know this is just preliminary, but the thing is we're here to say the things that we would like to have there, and that what an asset it would be to the town to have that kind of an area where we're not meeting at the Legion Hall, or maybe we're going to JFK or something like that. There's an actual facility where everyone could, meet, and people can come look at it if they want to. If people are looking to move into the town and say, nice recreation center, they even have something for seniors. So it's important to have everything from little tiny people to, to us mature people, So I'm just here to give you my opinion. What was that, Rich?
I like mature better.
Okay. So I'm just here to say that we would like to be part of this recreation center, and that we would really appreciate it if we had a part of the center that would accompany, take in us for a section for us to be in.
Okay.
So as a member, I would just like to express to you what a fabulous program we have. All kinds of things that I never thought of, and it definitely improves their quality of life, because I know before I joined seniors, I was kind of sitting at home and having a hard time getting off the couch. So once I joined this senior center, my life has improved greatly. I mean, my husband even comes in, he's an early riser, and he'll come in and wake me up and say, come on, it's time to go to old people. So I correct him. But anyway, he's noticed such a change in the way I'm physically more able to do things. I'm a lot happier and stuff like that. So he makes sure I get here every Monday and Thursday. So it's a definite asset to our community, and there should be a space for us there, because I'd like to see this program go even further than what it already is, and it's a fabulous program. Thank
Mrs.
you.
Lamanna, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Awesome. Wow, thank you so much, Nancy. That really was fabulous to hear. So it's kind of impromptu, but I know that our leaders are here. Would either Candy or Venna want to speak at all? Or if you want to go to the podium, that would be great.
Hi, my name is Venna Curro. I am one of the directors of the senior program, and I just want to tell you how proud I am of my seniors. Our seniors there's some right here in the audience. And I just want to tell you that I am so proud of them, and what they do for our program is just outstanding, okay? If it wasn't for them, we would not have a program. They are so unique, they are so energetic, they're so dedicated in what they do. They really make our program work. They make it tick. I'm at awe every time I go to work. They're eager to do things and work very hard to make our program work. And this building will be an asset to us. not only the kitchen, but we need storage, okay? And I'm going to say storage, storage, storage. We need it, okay? We need a working kitchen. I don't care if it's, that we share it with, as a concession stand or whatever have you. We need a working kitchen because we do cook. We like our food. We have a lot of celebrations, and, we don't want to give that up. And so what we're really looking for is adequate space. And what we're concerned about, really, is, we're looking for our program is growing, okay? And I just want you to realize that, I don't want to be in a room that's going to, we're going to be busting out of, pre-pandemic, we have expanded since pre-pandemic, okay? So here we are right now, we're exceeding our limit, okay, of what we were. We want to continue to grow, and we are. And I see more and more people. They're slowly coming in, and that's what we need. We want the more of the community to come out, our community, And so if they come out, we're not going to pass them along, but we need a big enough area to get the future. So if you build it, you need to build it for the future. You need to build it for the future. And big enough that, we could enjoy it. And not only that, but you have to build it for the community to make them come out and say, hey, this is for me too, put in things that is for me. What about I know I'm talking about money, okay? And how about a walking track? I know I'm talking about money, but you know what? We have to include the community too, because they're going to come out and say, hey, I want to vote for that. We can't just keep it into just athletes, sports-minded people. We have to include the non-sports people too. What can we do for the non-sports people? So we have to think about them too, to get the community out. So I think this is all part of, looking to the future. So if we're going to build it, we have to think about everybody. And we have to get those voters out that would say, hey, yeah, my kid could use it, and if you're going to have a room that's going to maybe, do computers or something, or offer computer, whatever. Hey, I'll vote for that. Computers for seniors too. Or computers, or just different programs that offer things, more things, just besides sports. We have to allow it that the community in general is interested in, not just sports, but other things. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, Vanna. Thank you.
Thank you, Vanna.
Hi. Pretty much everybody knows me and my big mouth, but I'll keep it short. I'm Candy Lounsbury. I joined the group 6 years ago as just a person looking for somewhere to go and have something to do. And now I co-direct with Venna. I can't say enough how much Seniors has done for me. And some of you know my circumstances. It literally saved my life. I mean, it literally did. What I see about the program is it's wonderful down at the Legion Hall, but if we had a larger space and places to store things, we would be able to expand our program immensely. People don't even really know we're there. And I know I've talked to Sue about this, that they really, if we had a place that was the community center and we had the senior center there, they would know exactly where to go and find out about the program. They would know exactly what we do, and they could see what we do. A lot of people don't realize that we do a soup program from November to the 1st of April. We put our aprons on and we made a soup on every Thursday so that we know everybody gets a hot meal, goes home. That's the least amount of the meals that we do, because I started baking when I started coming here because I love to bake. The next thing you know, everybody here is baking and bringing things in, and we're sharing, and it really is an amazing group. Nancy said it, but we're not a group, we're a family. And that's the way we want it to be. No backbiting, no stabbing, no trying to get people to change the way they want to do things. We all work together. And if it were down in the community center, I think that you would just see it explode. And the other thing I think it will help us merge with the younger generation and be able to collaborate with them so that they understand where we come from in the community, and we can understand where they're coming from in the community and what they want. So that's all I've got to say. I'm going to sit down, shut up, but I want you to know that having it all centralized, I think, is key. That's really key. And to have it be large enough that in 5 years, we're not looking at adding it on again. I think people forget when they look at the numbers, they're going to go, oh my God. But 5 years from now, when you come back at them, you know, it could have been taken care of in the beginning. And that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Candy. Yes, of course, Robin, by all means.
Robin Priano. I reached out to our supervisor, and I have an answer to your question. He said that we bought the property for about $9 million, and since Supervisor Schmidt has been in office, which is I think he started in about 2018, they put about $1 million between grants and town funds in like rehabbing the facility, and that's both indoor and outdoor facilities. Like we just took the inn down, like overlooking the lake, the big white inn came down like last summer. So
Yep.
that's about indoor and outdoor.
So
projects.
1 million combined with town funds and grant
And
money.
grants, yeah.
Okay.
And I could get more detailed information. That's just what I
That's
got.
all right. I'll rouse them. I just haven't seen them.
Yeah.
You didn't make the last meeting.
Okay. Is that what you were kind of looking for?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, thank you.
Perfect. Yep. Thank you.
Yep.
Perfect. All right. So moving on, I started last month having kind of a discussion about the 15 top reasons. So they're not in any particular order, but they help to describe the different needs of our community and how we can meet them through having a community recreation center. So we did the first 5, and that's available on our website. By all means, take a look. So I'm going to cover another couple tonight, another 5. So reason 10, and you can see we have a slide up that shows the proposed interior layout, and it has a highlight around the multi-purpose space there. So a reason that we've heard so eloquently from our speakers tonight is that we need a space for programs. Our current programs are utilizing loaned facilities of our community, and in order to grow our programs, to enhance them, to have a centralized area where people know to come regardless of the time of day. If the facility is open, pop in to say hello or to get information about our community. A facility is where people want to go. So this would not only meet the demands of what we currently need in our current programs, but it also gives us the opportunity to expand and serve teens and, of course, seniors and family programs and some community groups who are looking for space to do events, fundraisers, school-related activities that, aren't able to be scheduled at the same time at the school. So you can see the multi-purpose space would meet a variety of different needs. So, all right, and so let's go on to the next slide. A unique feature of this particular facility would be what they call the third space. In literature, it's a community building space. We've proposed it as a center aisle that would be spacious. I know it may not look as to scale in that particular photo on our slide here, but it will be open space that provides Spontaneous opportunities. So while other areas in the multipurpose space could be scheduled or they could be regularly offered, the third space would be an area where people can come and meet informally. As Nancy said, come and have a cup of coffee with a friend, meet at the community center versus meeting perhaps at another place. It would be an area for art displays. We have some very talented senior artists in our rec program, and that would be a wonderful area to have displays that could be available for the entire public to stop by and visit. Pop-up musical performance on a Friday afternoon. People stop by, or on a Saturday afternoon, bring a cup of coffee, listen to a local performer or a local student group come together for free and just enjoy being part of the community itself. It could also be a space for an indoor year-round farmers market. We have wonderful producers and farms in our area who don't really have space except at their facilities. Why not bring them under one roof so that the bounty that they have is the bounty we could buy local? And then the last one, just to maybe offer, is business networking. Definitely our businesses in town would benefit from being able to share information about their services under a roof. So whether it would become a future business association, that would be up to them in particular, but this would have the town give the opportunity for young businesses, in-home businesses, home-based businesses, to come to a space where they could be a featured vendor of the month and people could learn more about the great opportunities right in our own community where people can purchase products and services. All right, how about the next one? All right, so I'll tell you a little bit more about the building itself. Now remember, this is just a proposed project. We don't have all the things narrowed down, but we do have a leadership group that meets on a monthly basis to talk about what we hear in the community, what people are looking for. So this building is proposed to have a regulation-sized basketball court. That's what athletes need in order to be able to play effectively, but it also could be divided and used for smaller groups, pickleball, volleyball, whatever other types of ball that you can play on a regulation basketball court. We've proposed that it should have a commercial generator so that it can also serve as a heating station, a cooling station, a temporary shelter, say a power outage in a particular neighborhood, people can come right down. As we've mentioned well before, our young people in our day camp, 100 children that come for an 8-week stay, don't have indoor shelter in the summer. And we all know how hot it is in Dover in the summer. I heard on the news yesterday that yet last year was one of the hottest years on record since the year 247. And that's shocking to think that, our young people don't have a place to take shelter during a hot summer, rainy summer day. So the facilities will have public Wi-Fi. We propose them to having a warming catering kitchen, not a residential stove, not a residential refrigerator, as is currently available to seniors at the American Legion. A decent kitchen, as you're mentioning, so that you could offer cooking classes, that you could, be able to come and have sponsor a dinner for a community organization and be able to use it. So that would be something important for the community. We also plan to construct it in the most maintenance-free and energy-efficient way possible, thinking of those things ahead of time. Our leadership group has proposed a metal roof, looking into solar panels because towns are eligible to get low or no interest funding for energy efficiency. Radiant in-floor heating. We've talked to some local vendors to be able to learn more about what the general ballpark is for these types of items, and we've incorporated them in that final amount. So you can see that this would be a facility not just beautiful and functional, but it also would be efficient and maintain and low maintenance. All right, so if you go to the next slide. All right. So we mentioned at previous meetings that the approximate cost based on the $9.5 million ballpark range that we have consulted with a general contractor to learn about our budget, that it would have an impact of $12.75 for an assessed value of a parcel of $100,000. So here's a typical example of a tax bill in the town of Dover. So you could actually go online and look at your tax bill so you could see what your total assessed value. It's not based on the full market value, so remember that. It's based on what is the assessed value, and on the slide you'll see that I've highlighted the assessed value in red. So for $100,000 of assessed value, as you can see, this slide shows a parcel, a property that is a little bit over that. It would be, perhaps I'll just ballpark, maybe $13.50. So if you were to spend $13.50 a month on another item like going to a gym, the local going rate for a monthly membership is $19 to $36 a month per person to go to a local gym for fitness with classes. A family of four, maybe it would be just a venue to swim or to take part in a social activity. Those are oftentimes $120 to $150 a month. So this is the relative scale of what the cost would be to have a local facility where you could get in your car and be there in 5 minutes or 10 minutes, and you could meet with people you know and care about. Your children could meet with their friends, and they could take part in activities as many days a week as they're interested. So please, if you're interested in wanting to know more about your own impact on what it would be for a tax impact, please take a look on the website. If you go to the town website and you go to Find It Fast, there's a little tab underneath that for property taxes, and you can actually go on and look up your property taxes there. So the cost appears to be modest for the benefits that the entire community will get, because not only students will use this facility, seniors, children, families, community groups. As Robin mentioned, everybody can get the benefit of this. All right, and I think the next slide is, so this kind of wraps up the fifth kind of reason that I'm going down, and I decided to let others who had the sayings more eloquent than I to give it. Oh, could you go back there? So, reason 5. Helen Keller said, "Alone we can do so little, together we can do so much." That's what it's all about. This isn't just an individual project of the town, it's the community getting together. It's the people who were Dover strong during the pandemic coming together again and working towards a goal that will benefit all of us. And then I did come across this other great quote: "There is no power greater than a community discovering what it cares about." And I think you heard that from our senior rec presenters tonight. Such touching, important discussion about what it means to be in a community, to be a family of a community. That's quite different, and a community center helps establish that and keeps it going. So I thought I'd end with a little kind of comparison about what you could buy for $13 a month. So I had some help from some of my colleagues, and I really appreciate it. So for $13 in a month, you could buy a donut and an iced latte for you and your BFF. You could purchase a fast food combo meal with large fries and a soda. You could purchase a Powerball ticket with Power Play once a week for a month. You could give 50 cents to your child or your grandchild for doing their chores every day for a month. Or, as probably works in my situation, any trip to a dollar store when I go in. I never leave without spending at least $13. So, all right, can we go to the next slide? Okay, so we'll stop here. This gives just more information for us to think about, to talk more about, and I'll ask if the town board has any comments, and then we'll open it to the public, and then we'll kind of go on to quick synopsis of next steps.
I'll start it off. Again, the presentation tonight touched on many things that were brought up last meeting and some newer things that were brought up and that we thought of, okay? And now we have some newer things to go back and look at tonight as well. And we'll do that. That's what these meetings are for. I said that last meeting. Come to us with the questions, come to us with the concerns or the statements. We take them back, we hash them out, we find the answers, we find the solutions, okay? If we don't find the solutions, we'll get one, all right? But this is what we've been stressing. This is a community project. It will be the residents in the community that will decide to do this. And throughout the process, up until the end of July, we will continue to have informational meetings like this, presentations like you saw tonight, statements made from you, the public, statements made by us. And we will bring in our seniors, our rec participants, our workers if we need to let everybody know what goes on down there and what will go on down there. And that's all we can do. And we will advertise every meeting that we have, just like we have been, up until the day we vote. And then it's a yes or a no. All right? Again, we've all stated that we support this because the people have told us over the last 4, 5, 6 years this is what they want. Now, you made the statement that it was an open sheet, checked as many boxes as you want, but on those sheets there was a lot of boxes that weren't checked. But this one always was, 70% of the time, plus. So that's why we're moving in this direction, all right? And it'll be you, the people. It's not us. We're bringing it to you the best that we can, the most information that we can provide as we know it, and once we find it out, we'll forward it to you. All right? Anybody else? If not, we'll move on.
Good job.
Good? Good? Yep, come on up. Anybody from the public wants to make a statement or ask a question?
I'd just like to add something to what I said.
Okay.
I don't know how many people realize this, but you know how devastating COVID was. During that time when we couldn't meet together as seniors, Vena called us every single week, which helped add to, you know, the morale and keeping us up and keeping us connected and everything. And that's how important our senior program is. And one other thing I'd like to add is, you don't stop playing because you get old. You get old because you stop playing. So that's why senior program is so important. Thank you.
Thank you. Heather?
Hi, I'm Heather Yeno. I'm a citizen of Dover. I've raised 3 children here in this town. They played every sport imaginable from the time they were able to join a rec team until the time they graduated. I don't disagree with the rec center. I just think that I've come across a lot of people that are very confused. And I know this is why you have your meetings, is to make them understand. But even after you've had 2 prior meetings, maybe they didn't pay attention to the last one or whatnot. But a lot of people are under the assumption that this money was coming from grants and not from that we were going to end up paying for it. You did state that our taxes would go up. My family alone just rents 20 rentals in the town of Dover. And we rent to a lot of senior citizens. And you say our taxes will go up $13 a month. That's not necessarily true. It's $13 for every 100,000. So didn't you say that the last meeting? $13 based on every $100,000?
Only
Assessed
for
value.
property owners. So
Right.
your renters don't.
Right, that's what I'm saying, as we're property owners. So I'm not really out of pocket, only $13 a month. Most houses in Dover and Wingo are not assessed at 100,000. It's more than that.
If you look at, it's not the full market value, it's the assessed. So if you
Right.
look at your property bill, if you want to go back to that slide by chance. So if you take a look at the slide, Heather, I'm sorry it's a little bit covered, but in this example, full market value is $385,000 for that property, but it's assessed, it's at $136. So
Right.
it's not, so that $1,350
Right, I
is.
understand that, but for the most part, I'm just saying, I know in my situation, we have 20 rentals and
Mm-hmm.
all of our properties. A lot of our properties are assessed at more than 100,000, as well as
Right,
this. So when you average it out, it is a little more than $13 a month.
Oh, it will be, depending on
Right.
that.
So, and then you multiply that if someone owns multiple properties. So you say that it's only going to affect the property owner's taxes, but it's not. If our taxes go up, rentals go up. When our rentals go up, some of our senior citizens live Social Security check, Social Security check.
Right.
They can't afford, but then we can't afford to keep them there if we can't pay our taxes. So it does affect also rental owners, or rental people that rent from property owners. So I've talked to many moms, single and married, and they say, okay, this is great, but if our taxes go up on our rentals, and we have these children that want to participate in all these activities, we can't afford to enroll them in them. I know that scholarships have been available in the past. Myself, with 3 children, struggled many years to even get a scholarship because by the time they were never advertised, and when someone would tell me about it, and I would call the rec center, they're all gone by now. You know, someone beat me to the punch, which it's a town, it happens, I get that. And I know you guys do everything you can do to raise the money to give scholarships. I do understand that. But in the long run, Mr. Yino said that when I asked last month, would we be able to use that at any point in time? And he said, absolutely, you're the town, you own it. But that's not necessarily true, because I know as a mother, if my children were in a day camp and they were inside using that facility, I wouldn't want just strangers walking through the door being around my children. So there are going to be only allotted times that the public can use it. And with all the activities that are going on, if you're not paying to use it, you get to use it. But only when it's stipulated. So if you have a mother in the summer that has 3 children at home, it's raining outside, they have nothing to do with their kids because it's raining, they can't just go there in the summer because it's already being used by the summer camp. There's only certain hours that they can use it.
But there are other facilities in town as well,
Right.
right?
I get that. And those other facilities, as stated, same as the seniors said, they didn't like jumping from the Legion to JFK. JFK is a beautiful thing you guys have done. The walking track, the exercise equipment, the rooms, the rental. It's a nice place, but that's what we did. So when my kids played sports, we didn't just play at the same facility every week. We had to jump around. We had to go to Pauling. We had to go to, Amenia. We had to go to Dover. I'm not saying they should have to go out of town, but just because it's not at your facility there doesn't mean that those other parts of Dover facilities can't be utilized for those functions. That's what we built them for.
Yeah, and I think that it's not going to be free. I mean, we just can't. The town just cannot build a facility of this kind of scope and not have a tax impact. What they've tried to do is make it as reasonable as possible, and folks who are landlords can decide how they want to, if you're going to recoup it. Maybe
Well, we
some
have to.
some may choose to
They've
do it
already
different.
done that since the economies went up, It's,
Right.
the people are struggling to pay rents as it is.
Right, and-
Us alone, we held off and didn't raise our taxes for so long, our rentals for so long because we didn't want to lose our faithful tenants. We didn't want them to look somewhere else. And, it's hard because at some point you have to. We've had tenants that have been there for 15 years, and when we just hit them with a $100 rental increase, the first time in 15 years, they're talking about going somewhere else. Granted, I don't know if they'll find somewhere else for the same price, but that's not the point. We don't want to lose our tenants, and we don't want them to struggle as well.
Right, and
I just
having-
want the community to know that it's not just property owners that it's going to affect.
well, we keep stressing it is a community project, so I don't think the way that we have to recoup it as a community or as a municipality is it has to come from some taxpayer.
I understand
But
that.
at the same time, let's play out your scenario that if you needed to forward some of the cost onto your tenants and that wouldn't work for them, if there's a facility in town, it might draw new tenants that you wouldn't have otherwise because they don't want to come to a town without a facility. So I'm just playing it out a little bit for you to understand
I think
that.
someone's probably more interested in keeping an affordable housing than having a community center.
And I think that,
Affordable, you have to have a place to live first.
and this is not an unreasonable facility. It's quite a modest facility. If you look at it, it's a basketball court and offices.
Right, I
And
mean, I know
so
it stated kitchen, but I don't see a kitchen on the plan.
Well, a kitchen, because that would be a way to draw people to come to it, in the sense of that. But I do understand, as a renter myself, as a person who rents, that it is going to have an impact. But I do understand the benefit that it is to seniors and to families and to communities and drawing people into our community to want to stay and be involved.
So we're not going to use the old community center that's now the offices, we're not going to use that, what are we using that for?
It probably will be able to be used for community events. I mean, it's not going to be closed.
So what
Right.
we do is take the walls down that we put up and probably use that. So now you have another inside events or a smaller group.
For what we originally built it for?
Yes, but when originally they built it for the seniors, but unfortunately the seniors also grew out of that building, which is why they also went to the Legion Hall. And then when we got forced out of the Astor building, which was just an office with 3 people in it, it then became our office. But it's just walls, so you take the walls down, you can use it because it still has a kitchen that kitchen is still functioning, still permitted, that concession stand is still there as a concession stand. That's never changed. We just don't have people using it as a concession stand. But you take those walls down, it is now an inside attached to the pavilion, so you can rent it that way, as well as we have kitty corral that is up at JHK because I have nowhere to put my little guys. Because it won't fit in the community room now, but it could fit, so you can put another little program in it. You can use all the facilities. We're in the gym, I'm not just talking about sports, but we're in the gym 7 days a week, 6 days a week at school. We pay the rent, we pay them for rent on some things. When they cancel, we cancel. People here play basketball, they know. So it's very hard. But, we got to present it somewhere, somehow.
Oh, I understand all that. I just wanted, I've been approached by many people that say, well, we're not paying for it, we just got to vote the town to have it. They got a grant. No, they didn't. It's not a grant money. It's you taxpayers'
The
money.
grant confusion is, we used several grants on the Dover facility, okay?
And you very well.
And we advertise
right.
that. We have the best grant writer in the county. All
Oh,
right?
I love what you did
And
in
all the
Dover.
grants that we have received were put into the facilities, such as Boyce and JHK, right? That's what got the track, that's what got the equipment, that's what got the finishing of the buildings, that's what got some of our local contractors to do the work with. That's where the grant money. I think where the confusion is we have talked to people in the town that once, if this takes off, if this is approved, we will still continue to search out grants to put into this facility. It doesn't mean it's going to fund it.
Right, at the end of
Okay.
the day, the cost
It
is still going to
funded
cost the
Dover
taxpayers.
to a sense because Dover was left to us as a shell. It was storage.
I
It was
wasn't under the
nothing.
misconception about the
So-
grant. I
so-
just knew other people were.
But no, you're right, there is some confusion. But grants will still be pursued, but it's in a different situation. That building will be built.
Right.
And the grants will be applied for to add on or to make our
Not to pay the
our
initial
facility better.
cost of it.
Where JHK was just a building. And the grants finished the building and put the kitchen in and put the track in and put the workout
Funded
equipment in.
everything, right.
And the pavilion in, and now the bathrooms. So you can have bigger events there. Okay? So that may be the confusion. The grant applications will never go away.
Right. I just wanted to clear that up because I know you are going to vote on it and the town is going to vote. And it would be a shame if they went in voting thinking they're not. Some people don't pay attention as much as others. And if they went in with a bad conceived notion thinking, it's not going to affect me at all, and it is in the long run because the grants are not paying for that. You know, it's funded by the taxpayers. So I just wanted them to be clear on that because don't come back later and say, well, I didn't know that, you know, like at the end of the day, because it will affect everybody.
And it will benefit everybody.
I'm not saying that. I
Okay.
didn't say it wouldn't.
So that's the give to
It can, if you can afford to still participate with
It
it.
will be open to the public. Like, it will be open to residents at no cost to come to the third space, to participate in the senior program. There's no charge to participate in the senior program. So I guess it's how you look at it. If you think that it's a benefit or if you think it's a burden, it's kind of how you feel about what's important.
My thing is that
Thank
it's a
you.
burden. I remember when my kids were young, that park was nothing more than 2 ball fields. There was really nothing there. And it's come a long way. But if we don't continue to look at the future and build, we're going to be just, we won't be desirable to anybody. And you're always, and I'm one of those people that live on Social Security. And believe me, you find a way to do it, but it's hard. But I also know that when my kids were young, the argument always was the sports was going to raise school taxes. And none of the elderly people wanted to pay that in their taxes. Well, who paid for it when they played ball? It's the times. We have to keep moving forward or we're going to become stagnant. And we'll be a stagnant community. It'll be a bedroom community. They'll hop on the train and go to work and that'll be it. We have to form a community. And it's come a long way since I moved here 50 years ago, but it's got to keep going. It really does.
The recreation department needs a place of their own, because where they're at, they can't use the school anymore. I mean, they're paying for it, and, they can't use it certain days, and then their time gets extended, and it's just really hard for them to keep up with the schools, and they can only be in there at certain times, and it gets difficult. And where we are in the senior program, yeah, it's nice because, we have a new person now that's taking over, but still, I mean, we're running out of storage. We don't have storage, and that's a problem,
And we're stuck to 2 days a week, really, for the building. That's what we're allotted, those 2 days a week. Where if we had our own center, we could bring in classes and have classes, not book learning classes, but maybe floral design or something that would interest the whole community to come down and use that space. I think it would be great.
All right, thank you. Anybody else?
I don't think the public realizes that the town has to rent the school facilities. That's a cost to the town.
Okay. Mike?
Just a couple things from tonight. Number one, Town of Pauling. If you want to give them numbers, give them your tax budget and your budget that you get a year from taxes, okay? Let them know how much that is compared to what we get here. It's way more, way more. So that's a big concern. Their budget's way over what ours is. A lot of commercial space. Commercial properties. I sure can, sure. Secondly, 52,000 in income already this year for them. They have a lot more areas that they'll be renting. We won't have the time to use our space to rent the way that they do. And number two, and probably most important, is I want to applaud and thank all of our seniors tonight for being here and voicing what they want to say. Very important that they understand there will be no kitchens allowed in the building. You're not going to be able to put a kitchen in there, so you can't cook in that building, okay? You have to understand that. You'll have the small kitchen, like they said, small stove or whatever, but they won't allow it. So, third space, that can be used only when camp is not in session. Same with the seniors. You can only use it when the camp's not in session. Those big areas, understand that. Your space that you want to use, you may get a small corner office, but it's whatever day camp is not using, whatever the rec.
Day camp is only summer, and there's other
Mhm.
parts of that building that you can do. There's a gym, they can
Right.
use the third, they're just like we use the park.
But only under your schedule, though, only under the rec department schedule.
Yes, but that's their facility,
Yep.
that's Fishkill's facility, it's anybody's facility.
Mhm.
But day camp is only there 8 weeks out of a whole entire year. But remember, we are 100% outside now.
Mhm.
We're not gonna be in that building 100% during day camp. That is, you gotta understand that. I mean, that's not,
I have kids and grandkids that have been at that park, and I know that in the summertime, I cannot take my grandkids down to that park because it's camp time. So that is an issue.
Mhm.
you can. There's no way that you can't. You still can. No, you got the only, yeah, that was, you're way back before.
All right,
But anyway,
Mike, go ahead and finish.
Yeah,
Sure.
so again, and just putting out there for the seniors to understand it, they will need permission to use the building. It's not just go there when they want. Yes, yeah, and it would be under her program. Storage, again, if you were here at the last meeting, you understand that we're paying $900 a square foot for storage space.
but you're not. Because you gotta remember, maintenance, the stuff for maintenance is upstairs, where you can make that maintenance storage up there.
Right, but square foot price is square foot price. It doesn't matter where it is.
But it's not just the building that's $900.
Correct. But you're very close to that. The open space, again, we have to be careful not to restrict that, so we can't just have 300 people show up and use the open space. It can't happen. You know, now we've restricted, now we've got a fire egress problem. And again, it's only during rec hours that the building's going to be open, correct?
9 o'clock at night.
Every day, Saturdays and Sundays.
Exactly what they do. That's all the other rec buildings are open until 9
Yeah,
o'clock.
so again, we go back to an extra 100,000 plus a year to staff this thing.
Which is what we said when we originally were gonna decide to even do this building. We
So,
had to budget.
just more money. The basketball court, no radiant. You'll kill every kid that plays on that basketball court. It gets too hot. Just make sure that we discuss this more in depth. You cannot put radiant heat in a concrete floor underneath the basketball court. That'll kill those kids. Way too much heat. So again, the kitchen part, we bring up the gym's great, but I can go there any day of the week, any time of the day, and use the gym. Can't do that at the rec park. So that's all, just from tonight,
Where can you do that now?
at a gym. Any gym I want to go to.
Basketball gym?
No, a gym. It said gym. It didn't say basketball, it just says gym. Oh,
Well, our gym is referencing a basketball court.
okay. If that's what it said, yeah. But- Yeah, okay, well, that's it. Thank you, though.
Hey, Mike, I got a question.
Shoot it.
Your first set of questions earlier on, you mentioned a group of people that couldn't make it to the meeting. How many people were you talking about? And the only reason why I ask this, how do we get the word out? If you're representing 10 people,
Yep,
how do those 10 people spread the word?
right here,
Okay,
through me. They come to me, they ask me.
okay.
That's how they find out. I can tell you right now, did you ladies all find out from someone telling you we were having a meeting tonight, they'd like to bring you in? Okay, so nobody knew anything about this prior to that. Nobody knows.
And again, that's why we've been having these meetings for a while.
Nobody in this town knows. Right. I'm done, it's just, he found out from me again tonight that there was a meeting, so, you know, everybody here.
So other than how we've advertised every other meeting that we've done in the last 4 years, how do you want us to do it?
Because those meetings that you're calling for, most people just, it is what it is. Some of us do watch them on TV. When we can't be here, we watch YouTube. Right. We
can do
know
that.
that there's a meeting Tuesday for the
That will
school board
happen.
budget vote.
To-
Why
to-
don't we have that
to
for
this
here?
point- to
How
have
did
this
that go
point,
out?
That will happen.
What's that?
We will advertise.
How
it.
did the school budget vote go up?
It's on the screen when you drive
So
by
it's
the high
on their
school, you
sign?
see it every day.
Okay.
Yep.
It will get up on the board.
We're not hiding anything.
I know, but it's not out there.
I understand that, but you know what, I put stuff out all the time, whether it's on my signs, and people still don't know. Yeah, I'm just
Yes.
saying, playing devil's advocate. Not everybody, even the people who voted on those surveys, if they don't want to do it, they're not going to do it.
I mean, I have been asked,
Interested or not interested, same with the vote. If you're interested, you're going to do it.
I have been asked to do a mailer.
Yeah.
So,
Which we are putting it.
okay, so is the opposition side, so it'll be out there.
Yeah, it'll be,
I'll do it right now.
it'll go mail it, we're doing it, but it's just.
Julie just touched on it.
Yeah. Well, seeing how I just heard you say the word, why don't we look at this? What do we got, May? We're already at the end of May. So we got June and July. Why don't we set the special meetings for June and July, and let's do a mailing. And we'll find the money to do the mailing, and we'll go town-wide. Okay?
So the mailer is presented, it's just, we were waiting a little bit closer to the meeting for the
Okay.
actual vote, to notify of the vote, because if we get it now, it'll go on the garbage and everybody will forget about it. So what we did was, what Julie suggested, was as we get closer to the vote, to have the mailer go out. But to piggyback on that, maybe, like Rich said, have another meeting or two beforehand, continue to announce the vote, obviously, and then, we'll get the board at Boyce Park to rotate, to let everybody know about the vote in July. Oh, that's the other thing. We could also put some information out to the coaches for baseball, soccer. And again, it's the communication. We all know, everybody's been part of the sports. Everything that happens so fast. If you don't pay attention to what the coach says, they're not listening. So the coach may have said it, oh, I missed it. So there's a lot going on there. So I'm not going to put a lot of blame on coaches or getting the word out at the league level, but we all know that we've been there. So the best part is to get the board rotating with the date, to get the mailer out, to get notifications out, but it also, like you, getting those other people to get the vote, and let them know.
Rich, will there be a presentation when the building's finalized as to exactly what it's going to be?
That's in the talks right now, but we'll probably do something because we feel we should.
Yeah, because this is just preliminary. I mean, the final product, have a presentation on the final product.
If the referendum passes, then it would go to that. So, but they are going to consider tonight whether or not to actually consider going to bids for a vendor to do the construction documents. So not the construction itself, but an engineer, an architect. So that's on the agenda for tonight. But if the referendum doesn't pass,
We feel that'll get us closer to a number for all of you to know and hear.
People need that. I have a comment about the communication. The mailers are expensive, but what about for the mailer about the vote? Just some flyers and posters in the local businesses, Ringdale, Dover, that really doesn't cost much of anything. And something colorful to attract people's attention for the moment. But mailers are, I understand, they're getting costlier. But the flyers in local businesses, people would do that and get the word out so that people feel like, we can talk about this intergenerational opportunity for the benefit of the community and the costs and the, housing was brought up, and it's complicated, and I appreciate that, but I think we need more people at the meetings. There's a lot of empty chairs here, so however you can improve getting the word out about the meetings, and if you need help with that, I'll help you.
Rich, that's a great idea. Can we do that through the school? Are we
Yes.
allowed to just do a flyer and give it to all the students?
We do that now.
Why can't we do that then?
Julia will work on that.
But she said it's cheaper than putting all the
Ooh,
stamps on.
careful.
If you have a local business person, they're invested in this community, and we want more people invested in the community, in the future of the community.
Okay. We're just having a lot of conversation that the people at home are not hearing. So I've let it go, and it's valuable, so I'm letting it go, okay? But if there's something that needs to be put out, we actually do need you to come to the podium. I know we're at the end, and I know, because Mrs. Lamanna said we're all old. Okay, so I'm the opposite. I'm 54, but I feel 80. Where you know the 80 feels 54. Yeah, but I mean you gotta know, we value each and every comment here, whether it's for, whether it's against, whether it's in the middle. We do, okay? Because it's gotten back to us that we don't care. And I'm sorry, but it's bullshit. We do care. That's why we're putting our time into this, and that's why we're trying to answer every question that is asked of us. And pardon my French, but it's the only way I could say it. We care, okay? And it's our critics that are the ones saying we don't, all right? But we value each and every statement made here tonight. And Ryan, you've had your hand up for a while. You got a question?
I mean, this thing should be like plastered all over the park, right? There should be a billboard up. There's thousands of people there every week.
We've gotten suggestions tonight, and now we'll work on it. We use social media and our website for everything.
No, I get it, I get it.
All right, and truthfully, our seniors go to our websites and our social media pages.
Yep.
I know that, because I look at it. Okay, so when we have done the same thing for years now, we feel the word gets out. We feel the word gets out. Truthfully, this is more people we've had in a meeting than anything, unless it's a public hearing on something that they don't like. All right? So, but we'll work on a way up until next month now. We'll work on it and try to get the word out even more. Again, points taken. Thank you. All right? Anything else? Nothing else? We're going to move on.
Thank you.
Thank you. We have one resolution to read tonight. It's a consent agenda, sorry. Be it resolved that the town board of the town of Dover does hereby approve the following items for consideration and adoption on the May 15, 2024 Town Board Special Meeting Consent Agenda. Authorize budget transfers, add amendments as prepared and submitted by the town's bookkeeper, adopt new town policy for constable body armor, advertise for bids for construction documents for a new community recreation center at Boyce Park, and commend the Dover Education Enrichment Program, better known as DEEP, on their 10th anniversary of service. Do I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
I got a motion and seconded by Murphy, seconded by Holmes. Just a quick discussion. It's pretty obvious what this is. The Constable Body Armor, I've applied for a grant, and I'm being assisted by the DA here in Dutchess County to replace the body armor on our constables. I believe it's 8 vests. It's a full roster. Thank you, DA Parisi, as well as the grant that he led us to. We will lay out the total funding, but we will get back every penny. So thank you for that. And the DEEP, I have to congratulate the Dover Education Enrichment Program on their 10th anniversary. It's a great program. They've helped many, many students, many, many projects and programs in the last 10 years. I've been fortunate and honored to attend the last 4 at least as supervisor, and I'll be honored again to attend the next one and their anniversary meeting on the 29th. So with that, any other discussion? Hearing no further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? So carried, 1 absent. And with that absent comment, please give Councilman Maluta your thoughts. He went through a procedure today. He's recovering well. I spoke to him earlier, and he will be back before we know it. And a few notes that you all need to hear and know. Monday, May 27th is Memorial Day. This year it is in Wingdale. I'm passing this on for Councilman Maluta, who is also commander of the Legion. Lineup will be at 9 a.m. for those who are invited to march in the parade at the firehouse in Wingdale. And it will march to the cemetery down the road on Route 55 across from the Baptist Church. So lineup is at 9 a.m. I believe it usually steps off around 9:15, 9:30. All right. School budget vote and Festival of Excellence, Tuesday, May 21st at the middle school gym and auditorium. Please remember our rescheduled cleanup day is June 1st as of right now, weather permitting. 8 a.m. at the Rec Park in Wingdale. And remember, registrations are open for day camp, which Julie announces every month. And that is that. And I bring that because a lot of this stuff is going to happen before the 29th, which is our next meeting. Anything else? Public comments? All good? With that, our upcoming meeting is our regular board meeting, Wednesday, May 29th. And along with that, I bring a motion up to go into a brief executive session without returning to the dais. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion made by myself, seconded by Deputy Supervisor Murphy to go into an executive session to speak on a litigation case and not return to the dais. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? So carried, one absent. Thank you, everybody, and have a good night. All right? You got it.